I think we live. Let me see here. Yep, we live. What to do, everyday people, man? I see y'all pulling up, man. Thank y'all. We finna get started. I want y'all to just come in and sit down. Y'all know the routine. I hope y'all got y'all's shots together because it's about to get live and it's about to be really, really good, really, really fast. So today, everyday people, I'm trying to do this stuff right, make this. What's up, y'all? I know y'all can tell by the title what's about to happen. We about to get a exclusive interview. I know if y'all watch my content, y'all have seen me talk about. I reacted to a woman who found out her husband was DL, um, and this sent shockwaves all through my YouTube community. And I mean, it was a very interesting story. And so I ended up reaching out to this lady, and she was nice enough to grant me with an interview. So, without further ado, I want to introduce to y'all Jennifer Charles, the
Hello.
wonderful Jennifer Charles. Now, welcome to the Everyday PJ show. Now, did you see my video on YouTube?
I did not. I did not see
Okay,
it. I clicked on it. I kind of looked at the comments a little bit, but I didn't really watch the video. I'm going to be honest with you.
okay, good. It was horrible. It was horrible. But now, so um, tell us a little bit about yourself, Jen. So, well, before we get started, you could just
Tell
introduce.
you a little bit about myself. What y'all want to know? What you want to know?
Yeah,
What I My name's Jennifer. I'm an actor and a real estate investor. I'm from Jersey. Um, I'm 37. I'm currently pregnant. Yeah, that's about it. I mind my business, live my life for the most part.
currently pregnant. You say 5 months,
3
4 months,
months,
3 months.
12
Yeah.
weeks.
Mm. By a man that is DL. Now,
Well, he's not as DL now because due
because
to
it's out
due
there.
to my yeah, due to me, he's not as DL as he once was. But when I was with him, he was. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, one thing I was when I was watching, I was like, that's when you have so much in the course with so many. That ain't really deal. He was out there. He was out there. So, let's start from the beginning. You met this man as a kid,
Mhm.
and your mom, or so you had a troubled relationship with your mom, which led you to move in with your father, and he wasn't too proactive in the situation, and the lady came to like she seen what was going on and started taking a liking to you and bringing you around.
No, so I had a troubled relationship. I never had a relationship with my mom. First off, so my mom left when I was about 1, going on 2. So I always was with my dad. My dad remarried, and he married someone who was who was an in-law to this woman who took a liking to me. So they themselves were not blood related either. But they were married to people that were related to each other. If that makes sense. Or they had
Yeah, yeah.
they had family members that were married to each other. And she saw me when I was young and kind of took a liking to me and kind of took me under her wing.
Oh, okay. So pretty much you met him as I think you were a few years older,
2 years. I'm 2 years
2 years,
older.
2 years older, and you kind of seen him as a brother. Y'all was arguing a lot,
No,
you
I
know.
never saw him as a brother.
Oh, never saw him as a
Never,
brother. Okay.
never. I just saw him as an annoying little kid. Never saw him as a brother. Not a day of my life. We were not
Okay.
brought up that. We were not brought up that way. We didn't interact that way. Never. It was.
Okay.
It was just. It was just a Natalie's annoying son.
Well, that's her name, Natalie.
Yeah.
So, all right. So Natalie's annoying son was annoying all his life, or all
Mm-hmm.
y'all's growing up. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
had a, y'all argue back and forth over petty stuff. Um,
Mm-hmm.
when all right, you started to like him at some point when he was off drugs. Well, it's a whole other story. If y'all want to watch the story, y'all can go to my YouTube video and watch it, or you can go to her TikTok and watch it. Either way, support. It's
TikTok's back
official.
up.
Yeah, yeah. TikTok is back up. Support official Zen on TikTok, and so he had a drug problem, and you kind of helped him through that.
No. Me and him, I was never a part of his life during his drug problem. Like I saw him here and there over the years, because his mom would have invite me to functions, and sometimes he would be there, but I never interacted with him during the course. I don't know what he was doing during the course of his drug situation. I know I would see him. I only knew he did drugs because people told me. It's not like I was a part. Like I never actually seen him do the drugs. I just know he was doing drugs.
Hmm. Okay. Um. So, but he cleaned himself up, and then
Right.
y'all started to. So, what
Well,
y'all like?
he pursued me. He saw me
Okay.
at another event that his mom had that he invited me to, and he would pursue me. And in this particular instance, we were actually getting along. Like I ended up staying at his grandmother's house for like a weekend or something, and he ended up staying there too, and we were like cool the whole weekend. So he was like pursuing me, and then we ended up talking.
Mm. And did you start to be like, oh, this could be somebody?
I was like, no, I was like, yeah, I was like, this is actually cool. Like he's a cool guy. So we started talking like every single day.
And was he attractive then? Like you was like,
Well, he's never been ugly, so he's always been
mm,
attractive. So
okay,
he just was annoying as hell.
oh, okay, okay. So, well, he must have seen some attraction in you at some point.
Well, he
I'm gonna
had a
say
crush on me.
that.
He had a crush on me our whole. He had a wait. Why can't I tell myself? Oh, he had a crush on me our whole life since we were kids. Like anybody that tried to talk to me when he was around, he would like fight with or beat up. That's actually what happened at the most recent event when me and him started talking. There was a guy there that tried to talk to me. They got into it. They fought. He beat the guy up. Like it was a
Oh
whole
yeah, yeah,
thing.
yeah.
It was a whole thing. So
Man. So, when all right, so he liked you. Y'all seen each other at a party. He approached you. He was
hmm
like, y'all went out on a few dates. You
no,
had
we didn't go out
no.
on a few dates. No, because at the time he was living in Miami and I was living in Jersey, but we knew each other our whole lives. So it's like we know each other's whole family. So it's like it's not the type of thing where you need to go out on dates to get to like we kind of already had so much that we knew about each other. It's kind of like well,
You kind
yeah.
of
There was a lot we
didn't know
didn't
yet.
know about each other, but
Yeah,
there was so much that we knew about each other. We kind of skipped over like the getting to know you. Like, well, what does your mom do? What is your where are you from?
yeah,
Where,
yeah,
like
yeah.
because we knew all of those things already. So it kind of like we jumped right into like just full fledged talking.
But you started to have some suspicions about. Well, I guess y'all was at a dinner with one of his friends or his
Mm-hmm.
boss, should I
Right,
say?
right. Before me and him started, like 2 years before me and him started talking. Yeah,
Oh, so that was way before y'all started talking. Okay,
correct. That was like 2 years before me and him started talking.
okay. And you kind of felt like, did you have any like, okay, he could be, he
Yeah,
couldn't
no, I
be.
said that in the story. Yeah, we had suspicions. I was texting his mom like, I don't know about this. Like, I don't know about this guy. Like, this kind of seemed a little bit. I don't know what you could say on YouTube because I know TikTok is very like What can you say on here? Like, if will they cut you if I say the word gay?
No.
Okay. Because TikTok is real funny. You get kicked off live for nothing. So I just don't want to mess up your live.
You can't
But yeah,
slander. We ain't gonna be doing no slandering.
No, we're not slandering. I'm just telling you,
yeah.
I'm just gonna be answering your questions. But to answer your question, no, I had suspicions from the dinner that something was happening. But then, like I said in the story, I saw him the next day, and like we went out to lunch with them the next day, and like they were completely normal. So I was like, well, maybe like it was in my head, maybe it was just like, I don't know, maybe they were just maybe I was picking up on, I don't know, like maybe they were just being weird. Because prior to that, I had known him to have a girlfriend for years, and I knew about. So
So at that time, you think, was he still on drugs at that time in the
when
2
I
years
saw
prior?
2 years prior, yeah, he was still doing drugs at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like I said, I only knew he was doing drugs from word of mouth of other people and from how he acted sometimes. I never actually physically saw him doing drugs. But yeah, based on what he told me and what his mom had told me, he was still on drugs at that time.
Oh, okay. And so when you talked to his mom, did she have the same ideas? Like, yeah, he might be.
Yeah, we both were speculating. Like there was always a lot of, not always, but there was some speculation of like, this seems a little weird.
Did she talk to him about it and like talk to you afterwards? Yeah, I talked to him. He said it's just a business relationship.
Well, of course, yeah, he denied anything. He always denied anything weird with anybody. It was always like, no, we're best friends. That's just my friend, whatever. Like, I don't know what you're like. It was always a denial. He never once admitted, like, okay, this is the situation.
Yeah. I mean, we know he didn't admit it, even with his ass in the face, a face in his ass. He was
even still then, he was in denial.
That ain't me.
If you ask him today, after all of the evidence presented, he'll still just be like, "Oh no, like that's not what it was."
Yeah. So, all right. So when y'all got together, I mean, the suspicions was there, just with the friends. You was like, okay, I'm gonna take it for what it's worth. 2 years later, y'all get together. He lives in Miami. You still in Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And then he moves up to Jersey.
Yeah, he comes. So at the time, so he was in the process of joining the fire department in New York. So like he was getting ready to go to start their training or whatever, like months later. And from what so he revealed to me that he was behind on his rent in Miami because he had really high rent there. So I was like, well, if you're going to go to training for fire department anyway, because this is the part, it's hard to tell a full story on TikTok because you only have a certain amount of time and then you're trying to tell what you can remember. So this is the part I didn't tell. So I let him come because at the end of this, he was going to the New York Fire Department. I live in Jersey, 20 minutes away from Manhattan. So I just said, you can come stay here and get yourself together here while you're here and start a job until you start the fire department type thing. So that was when he came here.
And we're gonna give him a name. What was the name you gave?
The name was BB.
BB, yes, BB.
That's his name. His name's BB.
I died laughing when you said that. That shit was
that's
funny,
the name.
bro.
That's the name I gave him.
Yeah. So BB moved out to Jersey with you, which I mean, if y'all in a relationship, like that, it wasn't that far-fetched of moving somebody in
right
that soon. Like some people you'd be like, damn, why you move them in so soon? But y'all already,
I had known him over 20 years at that point, so it's kind of like, and I know his entire family, like, so it's like
yeah. So then what I want to ask you is, even with the small red flags, which was the gay boss and the way they were acting, the way the boss was acting, did that at any point, did that always sit in the back of your mind as y'all like starting this relationship when he moved in? Like,
no, it didn't. I just thought maybe like for I was thinking a couple things. For one, sometimes things aren't always what they seem. That's number one. So I was like, well, maybe it was kind of in my head or whatever, because I'm asking him the questions. or whatever, or everybody's speculating, but he's not admitting to anything. And then also too, like I kind of thought maybe he was just hustling the dude, because the dude was kind of like a sad soul type of dude. You could tell it was like it was something wrong with him. Like he was kind of like, I don't want, and this is, if he was, even if he was doing this, this is fucked up, you know. But like I kind of thought like the dude was kind of out of shape. He looked like he kind of had low self-esteem. He kind of like, so I'm like, oh, this is a guy. That was just a guy that someone who had an addiction is taking advantage of, which happens if you somebody that's down on your luck, if you find a sucker, you're gonna lick it. So I thought that maybe it was that, and they were cool for a couple years. So I was like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I guess because I mean, I don't know. I haven't never hung out with a gay person or a gay coworker or nothing, but I've had some, and I don't really have a problem with it. But I think like you just be nice to people, and sometimes I guess if it's your boss, if y'all do have that type of relationship, y'all cool. But I don't know.
right. Well, I wouldn't call him a boss because BB never worked. So
Oh yeah, yeah.
he just yeah, he just had BB on payroll. That was the thing that made it suspicious. But
Yeah.
it was like he's just helping him out kind of thing, because the guy was like a wealthy guy. So it was looked at as like, well, he feels kind of like what I did. Like he feels so bad for this guy because this guy's so pathetic and down on his luck that he's just helping somebody. That's kind of how I looked at it.
Well, he was helping BB.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So was he? You think he was enabling BB's drug habit? You think they were?
I don't think he knowingly was enabling BB's drug habit. I'm sure I think he was, but I don't think he knew.
Mm. So on BB's drug habit, so how far into your relationship did you think that he was on drugs? Because this is recent. Like you said, he was
He
acting,
was never in drugs on drugs in my relationship.
or he was drinking, or he was drinking. So he was acting erratic, but you didn't know
He
if it
was
was.
throwing hissy fits, but I think that had more to do with him being gay than him
No.
than him
Okay.
drinking. Like, but so the whole situation, that's another thing that wasn't made clear in the TikTok video. So I think I don't people keep asking, well, you stayed. The whole situation from me and him talking to me ending up arrested was 5 months total. The whole
Mm.
situation from start to finish. Me and him started talking in June. We were married in July. I found out about the gay stuff in August. And by December, I was arrested and he was out. So it's not like there's a whole long period. It's not like I was with him for even a year.
Mm. Yeah, and that is a quick time. But okay, let me ask you some questions about you. Um, you said you found out about the gay allegations in June.
They weren't allegations.
Oh,
I
you
found out
seen a
about the
video?
gay
You seen it?
activities
Hey, you seen it?
in August.
So when you found out about that, all right, I know you wanted a baby, you wanted a marriage, right?
Mm.
That's kind of what you was given, that you wanted a baby and wanted a marriage.
Well, I was already married, so it's no warning.
Oh,
By then, we were already married. We were married in July.
so y'all married in that 5 months y'all got married, like
We got
in
we he moved here in June. We were married in July.
damn.
So by the time I found out in August, this was already my husband. I didn't find out. It's not like I found out my boyfriend's doing this stuff and now I just stayed with my boyfriend. This was already my whole husband. We had already announced to everybody that we were married. Like this was already a full blown thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Y'all didn't. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Y'all didn't have a big wedding thing. Y'all just. Oh
We
shit.
eloped.
Looks like the camera wasn't plugged. Plug it back in. Oh, what happened to my camera? Uh,
What's going on? Well, hey y'all, I'm still here. I don't know what happened to PJ just now, but I'm still here. Let me look in these comments because I know y'all probably talking shit in here. Hold on. Hold up. Oh, new. Oh, y'all talking shit in the comments. All right, well, I'm not offended. I understand. But hey, y'all. So I'm waiting for PJ. I see your comments. Let me look. Can y'all see me when I'm looking at comments? Can y'all see me? Because I've never done this live before. PJ's the first one to have me doing this.
All right, can you hear me?
You back? I can hear you. I can hear you.
I don't know what's up with my camera. Let me see. Something happened to my camera. But we just gonna keep it going. I'm gonna try to figure it out while I'm doing it. I can't unplug it no more. But you can hear me though, good, right?
I can hear you.
All right. I don't know what the hell just happened.
I was gonna say I was gonna talk to the comments while you getting yourself together. So I was gonna say, I see someone saying that like I should have took time to get to know him. I knew him over 20 years at this point, so it's a different situation. I think if I would have met someone off the street, there's no way I would meet me. I've been engaged prior to this for years at a time. I've actually been married before this. So if I met someone on the street, there's no way that I would meet someone off the street and be married to them in the month. But because I knew him over 20 years and I knew his entire family, it kind of made me feel safe in a way I probably shouldn't have been. Like I can trust this person, and I was wrong. So people make mistakes in their lives. Someone asked how long did it take to get the marriage annulled? This marriage doesn't qualify for annulment. There are certain rules and regulations to get a marriage annulled, and finding out your husband is gay is not grounds for an annulment. So we are still married right now. I'm still married. I'm still going through the court case, and I plan to file for divorce probably within the next 30 days.
But yeah, don't you have to? It has to be like abandonment or something like that.
It has to be either abandonment or the person is in a situation that prevents you guys from having a normal marriage. For instance, if you find out the person lied about being able to have children, and they're sterile, or like they defrauded you, like they're in serious debt, like they're in $1 million worth of debt and defrauded you in a way and tricked you into it, things like that. But finding out your husband likes men is not grounds for an annulment. You can only get a divorce. And then the thing about a divorce can take years. Like people run from divorce for a decade. Like just because you file for divorce doesn't mean you're going to get a divorce.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I'm mad my camera messed up because I don't even know what's going on.
Someone's asking about adultery. Adultery is grounds for a divorce, not annulment.
So when you found, I forgot what my question was, but so you was talking about you're 37, right?
Correct. I was 30. I was 36 when we got together, but I'm 37 now. Yeah.
36, no children. What is the dating pool like in New Jersey? Because it has to be very shitty that you would.
Honestly, the dating pool in New Jersey is actually very great, which is why I'm embarrassed that I made this decision. Like, typically, I talk to the men that I date are usually 6-figure earners, smart, intelligent. It's just that the only issue that I've had with dating in Jersey is that I find that, and this is just my own experience. I find that men, there are certain, the men that I did anyway, there are certain levels of insecurity. Like men talk a good game. People can say what they want to say. But Nick Cannon did an interview recently. I'm going to just use him as an example about how Mariah Carey was the love of his life, but he just couldn't get over being Mariah Carey's husband. And the thing is, even a man that as much as these men talk about high value, men kind of like someone that they can have a little bit more control over, in my experience, or someone that doesn't push them to do certain things. So my issue has always been, I feel like this is just my issue. My issue has always been that the men, and this is not, I'm not saying all men are this way, the men that I interact with tend to either feel insecure at times or um feel like I hold them too high of a standard. The only reason BB was able to get through, if BB didn't know me over 20 years, that was the only reason he was able to get through, because my familial connections with him, like his grandmother's a millionaire, like I know his mother, I know his, like if I didn't know what his entire family dynamic was and the family background that he came from, he would have never got in as is. There's no way I wouldn't take a bum off the street and just bring him into my house. I've never done it before. That's the reason why at 37 I don't have kids. And I didn't have trouble getting pregnant. I have no issues getting pregnant. It wasn't a mistake. It's just that I trusted him on a level that I wouldn't trust another person, because I knew so much more about him than I have any other person that I've ever dated. That was literally, it's a different dynamic. Most people don't know the person that they've been with for over 20 years, or the person that they're with for over 20 years. Most people don't know the person's entire family that they are with for over 20 years. That is a different dynamic. And if you've never experienced it, you can't understand the level of trust that you might develop for that person falsely, because you think you feel safe in a situation where you may not very well be safe. And that's what happened to me.
Yeah, because he got you.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I was like, damn, dating out there gotta suck, because it seems like you put up with a lot. I mean, even through the marriage, it's like you put up with a lot, and then you still got pregnant. Did you still want, even though you've seen all that you've seen, you still wanted to have a baby? Like,
I get the question that you're asking, but this is the thing that everybody doesn't understand. Everybody thinks that like when something traumatic happens to you, you react instantly. Like, oh, this happened to me, now I'm going to change things around. And sometimes I worked in medical for a long time, and they tell you about the 5 stages of grief. The 5 stages of grief are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. You have to go through all 4 of those stages before you get to acceptance. That's why when somebody dies, you don't just be like, oh, well, the person's dead, let me just go on with my day. It takes a second for you to take in that traumatic experience and then be like, oh shit, like now what? Even like situations where people get, assaulted. People ask, well, why didn't she just report it right away? Well, trauma don't work that way. Sometimes you might get sexually assaulted and you don't tell anybody for 20 years. That's just how it is. It doesn't, there's no straight line to trauma. It's like, well, there's no book on this where like, oh, when you find your husband cheating with men, this is the way you're supposed to react. That's unfortunately, I wish trauma worked that way, but it doesn't. So it did take me like 2 or 3 months for it to really settle in that I'm married. Because if it was a boyfriend, totally different situation. I'm married and have announced to everyone that I know that I'm married to someone, and now I just found out that he sleeps with men. That's a very, I know it sounds simple, but it's actually a very, very traumatic and major thing to swallow. So I was in denial at first. I'm not gonna lie to you. It took me a few months to accept that was what was going on, but I was still like, well, making excuses because he was giving me excuses like I was on drugs for this amount of time, and you don't know what it's like, and being on drugs can make you do things, and I wasn't in my right mind. And the reason my mother wasn't in my life is my mother was a drug addict all of my life. So I've seen personally my mother do a lot of things that I know she wouldn't do had she not been on drugs. So I kind of related to him on the drug addiction side. And also, it, like I said, you almost don't want the shit to be true. Like now after I told everybody that I'm married, I have to go back and say, oh, he was gay, y'all. Sorry. Like, no, I brought this dude around, but he likes men.
You still kind of wanted to make it work, or just try to work past it or something like.
I believed that he had been through some type of trauma that made him this way. I was in denial about it. Like we were going to therapy for it, all types of nonsense in those. Because from August, I only stayed with him for 2.5 months after I found out. And then at one day I was just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like this nigga gotta go, like, so then after that was when whatever went down. But like, I was still in denial, like, well, maybe I can help him through this. Maybe I was asking him like, well, were you like molested as a child? Did something happen to you? And he was telling me stories about things. So I was trying to work through it with him, because he himself never once came out and said, look, yes, this is what it is. So I was in denial, just like he was in denial for a couple months anyway.
Do you think at some point one of the or some reason that you got pregnant was, did you ever think about your chances of, even like having a baby and stuff like that? Like, I need this is the closest thing I'm gonna have to, you know, having a relationship with a person that I want to have a baby with. So I'm gonna just do it anyway because he's not that
No, I had an
bad.
abortion 3 years ago, and the person that I had was pregnant by begged me not to have it. It wasn't that. It was that I was the biggest factor was that I was already married to this person. I think that for me, especially culturally, I'm Haitian. In Haitian culture, you don't get divorced. Like you fight through that fucking marriage. Like so, there better be why. And then also, I guess a lot of it too was shame because for one, it was a quick marriage. We got married after a month, and now this. So now it's like, well, bitch, you made this. Why did you marry him so fast? It's kind of like now I have to kind of like I'm just processing like, and then also too like I've been blessed to be with some really good guys. Like I said, I've been married before, I've been engaged before, and lived with a person for years, and I left those situations, and I just couldn't process that in all the way better situations that I've been in, I've cut off men for 10% of what this man has done. And now I'm in a marriage to this person. It was a lot to process at that time. It's not an easy thing. Like I know everybody who hasn't experienced something knows exactly how to handle the thing that they've never experienced. I get that. But as somebody that went through it, I can tell you it took me a minute. Like it took me a minute to fully accept that you're married to a man who likes having sex with men. Like that's some shit. Like I'm telling you, that's not some easy shit. It's not like, oh well, guess things didn't work. It's not like that. I promise you it's not like that.
So I mean, you did, I mean, how deep was your love to be like, one, marry him, find out he's gay, then have a baby with him? Like, was it? Understand you was like going through, like it was like shocking, and you didn't want to feel embarrassed by your family or whoever. It didn't even matter, but I'm sensing like you was didn't want to be like putting your stuff out there and then turn around and be like he's gay. But like, did
Well,
you
I was
love
still in
him?
denial. I thought I was in love with him. But I realized after, obviously I don't know this person, right? So I thought I was in love with who I believed him to be, but obviously once I realized I don't know, I can't love a person I don't know. I believed that I knew him. And even then in the period that I got pregnant, I still believed that I loved him then. It like again, like if you really love someone, it's not a switch. It's not like you wake up one morning and they do something. If you could do that, if you could wake up one morning, if you really believe you love somebody, you wake up one morning and they do something and you just instantly stop loving them, you probably never did. So I believed that I loved him even through that. It just took me a minute to accept that this motherfucker is like a motherfucker, like something wrong with you.
What um if he wasn't in denial and he was actually maybe going through some things and he was open and honest with you at that time after being caught, and he said, I need some help and I love you, would you have stayed with him?
What do you mean open and honest? Like he told me he was
Like,
gay?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah.
No, because I'm not into gay men.
I'm saying, well,
Like
yeah,
no,
because
I
I
wouldn't
mean,
have
of
been.
course, because you had a baby with him afterwards, you
Right.
find
But
out.
the reason I
So
had a baby with him is because even to this day, he's still denying that he was gay. He was giving me all these excuses for why I saw what I saw. Even to this day, he still has not come out and been like, I'm gay. He was saying I needed money. I was on drugs. I had a $700 a day habit. You know what? You've seen what that's like. That I this happened to me as a child. So he never came out and said he was gay. I just had to finally accept, like, girl, you're in denial and he's in denial. He's gay. But he never, if he would have came out, I think it probably would have jolted me out of it a little faster. Like, okay, girl, like he's gay, like just go on about your business. But he never once said that to me.
yeah, because you said that he wasn't finishing during intercourse with you two, and this was prior to you finding out, and then
Mm.
after finding out, now all of a sudden he's,
Yeah,
having an
that was weird.
orgasm.
I still don't understand that. I don't have an explanation for why that was. I don't understand it. So I don't know why that was. I just know at the time he was telling me that like the reason that he wasn't able to finish is because he was so desensitized from drug use for so many years. And that was the reason why he wasn't able to. So and I still don't understand why he was able to after. Like I don't have the answers for this. Like I wish I was like a gay connoisseur. Like I could tell you. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, that's what happened.
Hmm. Yeah. So, of course, confronting him. I mean, we've heard the details. Um, and there was another thing when you was like, I need you to share all your passwords and stuff, and I want to see your iPad
Hmm.
so you can always go in and check and see if he's still
Yeah.
having these relations. I'm thinking, watching. I'm like, she cares about. She's in love. She wants to be with this man. Because that's
Right.
like at that point, you wasn't over the relationship at that point.
Right. That's true. This is somebody. Well, this is somebody that I married a month ago. So of course, if I just married you a month ago, it wasn't with the intention of finding out you're gay and getting divorced right away. So like I said, it's gonna take a second. If I felt strongly enough for you to marry you, it's not going to be instantaneous. That one day I wake up and like, oh, I'm over this. Like I said, everything takes time. So yeah, I asked him for his passwords. I honestly wanted to do a deep dive to see what else I was gonna say because when I asked him for his passwords, the videos, the biggest evidence I hadn't seen yet. All I had seen at that point when I asked him for his password was like text messages. I didn't see the videos. I didn't see none of that yet. I had spoken to a guy on the phone and I had seen text messages. It was when I asked for that password and I started going through everything, that's when I saw the evidence that was like,
Mm,
oh, okay. Wow.
yeah.
And honestly, I don't think that he thought that I was gonna find that because I think he deleted everything. I think he thought he deleted everything, and it just so happened like when you back up from your iCloud, it's from whenever you last back up, not from 15 minutes ago when you went through and deleted everything. So it came right to my iPad. So
Mm. So did you drop the iPad? Like, ugh.
I didn't drop it. I was hysterical. I was hysterical. Like I was getting drunk for like weeks after that. Like I was slowly becoming an alcoholic. I was just in shock. Like I was very traumatized. Like I just couldn't believe it. When you see that, it's not, yeah, you feel disgust, but it's more shock than anything. Cause it's like, what? Like you almost don't want to accept what you're seeing. Like your brain does incredible things to protect you. So like your brain will tell you whatever it needs to tell you to make you feel safe in a situation, even if you're not safe, you know? So it's like in that moment, I was just like, this is not, it can't be. Like, this is not, no
It was
way.
like he was denying it, but then the video of him when his face is in the camera and you like,
Yeah. And he's still like, ooh. And like, even thinking about the shit, he's still like, that was a long time ago. I was deep into my drug addiction. That was 5 years ago. Look at my body. Look at the tattoos. And it was an old video. It was there. The things he said there weren't tattoos, but still, it was like, yeah, but you were doing that. And it was like I had a $700 a day of drug habit at that time. Like that kid had so much money, he was just giving me drugs all day. Blah 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 blah. So many bunch of drugs in that room and da 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 da. So like I said, it just took me a second to process.
mm. So a 5 month relationship or marriage, and we're continuing into 2025. Um, you confronting him, getting then y'all, uh, you finally want to put him out. Then he was slow playing on getting out.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I guess y'all have some type of altercation where the police was called,
Mm-hmm.
and he sends you to jail.
Yes, he does.
Was that the last straw? Because the seeing
Was
his
the police sending
face,
me to jail the last straw?
yeah, because his face in another man's ass was not the last straw.
The police sending me to jail couldn't have been the last straw because I was already telling him to get out before that. The last straw is what happened when I told him to get out. The police sending me to jail happened after that.
Okay. What was the last straw?
The last straw. So this after that, after I caught him, we went to therapy for about a month and a half. So we went to therapy into like from like September well into like October. And then we stopped going to therapy. And then like I said, I think I just ended up on autopilot. Like I just blocked it out of my head. And at this point, I guess I was just pretending like the shit didn't happen kind of situation. Like just going on about life like I didn't know what I knew. And we were talking about having a kid because we both of us always wanted kids. And he was very, very hellbent. Like he was like, I want to have a family with you, blah, blah, blah. So the last straw for me, two things happened, but it happened after I was pregnant because I feel like me being pregnant kind of made me think a little differently for some reason. Like, I don't know if it was hormones. I don't know what. He did something. He left my car door open one night, all night, and it rained inside my car. Like one of my tenants came and was like, your car door is open. Like it's been open all night. And I just started thinking like, this is the type of dude that would leave your baby on top of the car and fucking drive off. Like this is not a person that could handle a baby. And then another thing was that like when I was in a lot of pain, like having gas, being pregnant, and I asked him to put my knees to my chest, and he started throwing a hissy fit because I asked him to put my knees to my chest. And those may seem like small things to the people listening, but to me those were just like the final straws. It only takes one straw to break a camel's back. If you're already, and this happens with women in relationships all the time. Dudes get comfortable because she's talking, and then one day she stops talking, and you think, oh, things are good, and then one day you do something that's small, and she like, get the fuck out, and you like, well, what happened? That's just women. We leave before we leave. So my mind was already gone, but it was like it took one thing for me to finally be like, all right, this is not like enough. Like you gotta go.
Man, if y'all don't know, helping a woman relieve her gas, you really love a woman. That should have told you right there. He don't love you if he didn't help you get that gas out. Cause man,
Well,
that was
being pregnant, that shit hurts. It's a lot of pain because one thing I learned from being pregnant is your digestive system slows down. So you have a lot of build to your body's using all your energy to make the baby. So you have a lot of buildup and that shit hurts. So I was like Googling like, hey, can you just push my knees to my chest? And he like threw a fit. And that is just like jolt me out. Like, is this what my child is going to experience? Like, I can't, this is a mistake. So.
Yeah. So, man, I was going to ask about, oh, man, I got so many questions. I had so many. So, his mom. Do y'all still have a relationship?
No, we don't.
Did this?
It has nothing to do with this. Me and her don't have a relationship for our own other things. Like
Okay, we don't
which I stated in the TikTok. Like she ended up me and her fell out because while I was going through this, so she was the only person that I was telling that I was going through this while I was going through this because I was too embarrassed to tell anybody else. Like I honestly didn't know what to do at this time, so I was confiding in her what I was finding. And like I went through his phone August 16th. Her birthday was August 22nd. So at that time, like I was calling her every day crying and I was like, getting drunk and stuff. And one of my friends invited me to a beach day with them. And my friend lived close to his mom. And she was like, well, when you come by here, you could drop off my birthday gift. And at that time, I didn't even think about a gift for her. And I thought it was a crazy request with everything that she knew that I was going through. So like me and her kind of fell out first over that because I thought that was just a very selfish thing to request when you know what I'm experiencing, especially with your son. And then also like she had texted him one day, like some wild shit that he showed me, like, Jennifer doesn't know what it's like to have a mother because she's never had one or some slicks like shit like that. So me and her never spoke after that.
Yeah. Do but y'all when y'all were married, y'all still had a relationship. I mean, y'all still married, but in the relationship, you had a relationship with the mom, kinda, sorta. And she was telling you that he might be gay.
Well,
Did you not like?
I was closer to her than him. So like most of my life, I was extreme. Me and her used to be extremely close. Me and her relation, they didn't have a relationship until me and him got together. Like she didn't fuck with him at all until me and him got together, and then all of a sudden they were cool. So she what I'm assuming you're gonna ask if she told me like anything about his behavior.
Yeah, yeah.
So whenever she approved of us getting together, but the first thing that I saw in his phone, she was like, Jennifer, if you saw that, there's probably more. Like you need to get out of this. And she did. She throughout the thing she was like, you're in denial, and I don't know why. She was like, I've seen you deal with men, you're not like this. I don't know if it's because of if it's his relationship to me, or it's because you're just in shock right now. She was like, but you need to get out of this. She told me that. But at the time, like, I don't know. You just go through shit in your head. At the time, I was like, no, I'm worried about his sobriety. I kept telling her, I'm worried about his sobriety. Like, if I put him out right now, what if he starts doing drugs again? Or like, I'm gonna help him through this type shit. Like, it was just a whole thing. But she definitely kept saying to me, like you
I
need to
saw
put this dude out.
I saw that a lot in the comments. It's like you was giving him too much, empathy when he clearly that was something that was bothering you, but you was overlooking your feelings for his.
Yeah, a lot of the times I do, and I think that, well, I'm in therapy now, but I think that what I'm learning is that sometimes I feel like for me, it definitely has a lot to do with my relationship with my own parents, like my relationship with my mom specifically. I kind of saw certain things in him that I wanted to save in her that I couldn't. So I guess it kind of felt like, well, if I save this one, like I put a cape on when I shouldn't have, pretty much.
Hmm. Yeah, because it sounds to me like he was long gone, or he was going through some things in denial with his life and everything. So, I mean, in bringing you through it, uh, you know, yeah, that's crazy. Wow. Um, so y'all got into this altercation. We're gonna go back to the end. When y'all got into this altercation, um, you are currently going through court right now for that, right?
I am.
So you are now a mommy felon. Not a felon yet. You're not
No,
convicted.
it's not a felony. It's a misdemeanor. It's a misdemeanor. But
um,
I got arrested.
have you spoke with him since?
No, we have restraining orders on each other, so he's tried to call me. I did not answer.
Okay. Do you ever do you think he'll go through it, uh, testifying or prosecute with,
Well, I
going
don't know
through?
what he would do. Honestly, he's a raging homosexual, and it's you have no idea what that type of person might do. He's angry, so who knows? I just gotta make sure my attorney shows up and do what I gotta do.
Yeah. Do you think these TikTok videos will help or hurt your situation?
Do I think that TikTok videos will help or hurt my situation? I think my TikTok videos have nothing to do with the situation. I'm not being charged about telling my story for telling my story. I'm being charged with calling my uncle to cause him bodily harm. That's my charge. So I don't think one has anything to do with the other.
Okay. Yeah, because when you make because he put the charges on you, and then like he could drop them, but then he see this video and he be like,
Well, he didn't put the
"Bitch, she done."
when he came, he refused to when the police came, he refused to make a statement and they picked up the charges. But at the end of the
Mhm.
day, even if I got convicted of this, this is not something that you do life for. So it's like at the very most, it might be probation or something like that. It's not. I don't want that, but it's not a life altering kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I hope the best for you on that situation because I understand like going through something with your partner and then it getting, but then you was going through a lot and you pregnant. I mean, you married and you stuck in a marriage you don't want. You pregnant by a man you don't want. Pregnant by a man that's gay. Because at this point, it's not like he's not even like curious.
Mm.
Um, and you stressed out and gassy. So you going through some stuff. and a situation happens. So you know, I feel bad for you as some, you know, in some instance, you know, because you going through the stuff. But, you know, I'm sure you've taken accountability for the things that have transpired over the past 6 months now.
Right. I take accountability for the things that I could have done better. Yeah. I don't take accountability for him lying repeatedly and misleading me and pretending to be somebody that he wasn't. But I take accountability for being a little bit pretty gullible and naive and delusional at times, for sure.
Hmm. Yeah, we all tend to ignore some stuff. I mean, I don't know, because I haven't been so far in a relationship, like that deep in a relationship, that it went that far south so fast. But again, you knew him for 20 plus years, so that's what a lot of people need to keep in mind, is that all this stuff happened. Yeah, you got married fast and all this stuff, but you known him so long, so it's like you already know him, and then
Right.
but you come to find out you didn't really know him.
Right.
And unfortunately, it just so you just gotta. So what have you been doing lately since this TikTok has blown up and
What have I been doing lately?
your red robe has been famous?
Just living, honestly. I mean, it didn't really change anything. Like
Yeah.
nothing. I've had viral videos from. I have videos that are way more viral than those videos. So it's not like, I mean, those videos went viral because obviously hearing about a DL husband is entertaining, but like it's not life changing, and I just live my life every day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's all good. But I did like doing your story because, like I said, I do these stories. I don't know what I'm coming into. Of
Hmm.
course, you see the title, and then you go through it, and then it's always a shocker.
Right.
And you know, some people don't like the comments, some people don't like my reaction to it, and it is what it is. But I really do appreciate you coming on and talking to us about it, because you it's traumatizing. You still going through it. You 3 months pregnant, still gassy, and need somebody to push them legs up.
I mean, life happens. Life happens to everyone. Like there's a bunch of baby mamas in the world. My situation is not that special just because the nigga's gay. Like it's just one
Yeah.
more. It's just another piece of shit baby mama or baby daddy in the world. There's tons of them. This is not a unique. As much as we're trying to make it so unique because he likes men, the idea of a ain't shit baby mama or ain't shit baby daddy is not a new concept. So I'll be okay.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not gonna die. It
Uh,
happens.
are you gonna allow him to be in the kid's life?
Um. That's a question that I'm not sure about yet, and it has nothing to do with him being gay. Being gay doesn't necessarily make you a bad person or a bad parent. It has to do with the fact that I'm not sure he's responsible enough to be a good parent. I don't know, just his character in general. I don't trust. It has
Mhm.
him being gay. That's his business. Like if me and him, if we were to get married and we were to separate for different reasons, and then 2 years later he came out and decided he was gay, he'd be gay. He was gay. He'd still be gay. You know what I mean? So it's like I just found out during our marriage, but it's just like at the end of the day, I just have to live and see. It just
Yeah,
is what it is. I don't have the answer to that.
I think, but if anything, requests for, like, parenting classes, maybe that y'all do some family counselings, some type of supervised visitations or check-ins, have an open line of communication type deal. Because I mean, eh, a broken home is not. I mean, I'm not. I, I'm a habitual baby daddy. Like, I got kids all over the place.
Do you? How
So
many?
I got 5 daughters.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Three mothers though. Three mothers. So
So let me ask you a question because this I always find this fascinating. I know this is your interview, but I'm going to ask you a
mm,
question. So because a lot of people, even in the comments, I see a lot of people saying like people shouldn't be bringing like talking about me bringing a kid into this, which I understand. Like if I was level headed at the time when I made this choice, obviously I would have made a different choice, right? So this is not. If I could go back, I would have made a different. I would make a different choice. But in situations where people have kids out of wedlock with multiple people, right? Do you feel like that's different than, or that's better than the situation that I'm in?
I think not. I don't think it's any different. I think what it is having kids out of wedlock used to be a thing that was frowned upon, and most people didn't want to do it. But
Mm-hmm.
it's becoming so common, and it's the stupidest thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
The uh, to start a family without a commitment. You know what I mean? Because one, y'all starting a family without a commitment. You committing to having a baby, but you not committing to the woman you having a baby with is crazy. And I've done that several times.
Right.
So
Right.
you know, so I can call myself crazy for doing it, but that's looking hindsight, looking at it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's
Right.
not
Right.
like it's, and I can always check myself about it. I don't allow nobody else to tell me about it. So
No. No.
basically, I wouldn't listen to what society wants. People go through situations, and especially women. Y'all, a lot of women don't know niggas ain't shit until y'all pregnant, and sometimes dudes will get a woman pregnant on purpose, and you don't know that he ain't shit, but then you start to slowly figure
It's
it out.
happened
But
to me.
and y'all will be like, see, yeah, he'll be head over heels, and you always wonder like, why he don't get these kids, or why he don't do this, or why is his relationship with his baby mom, but he got an excuse for everything. But then, you know, you find out once you have a baby with him and be like, oh, this is why. But that's the same thing for men. So you can be like, oh man, this girl, she let her baby daddy see his kids and all this and then, but you have a kid with her because she actually likes you in a relationship. She don't want to see you with no other
Mm-hmm.
woman. She calls you hell, but the nigga who ain't shit, she don't even give a damn about, and you helping her raise her kids. So it be all type of situations, and so we can just sit here and make judgments on. I'm pretty
Right.
sure there's more babies made out of wedlock than there is, you know, the people that's married at this point in day and age, because
Right.
people just don't give a shit now. They just having babies for no damn reason.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's no different. I don't see. It still ain't probably the best thing to do. Now, would I want that for my kids? Hell no. But you
For
know,
whatever, I'm gonna tell you, even when I got pregnant, for whatever my state that I was in at that time, I still believed that me and this man were gonna work this marriage out. Like that's like honest to God, I was just that sick in the head in that moment that I believed like we're gonna get through his issues and we're gonna build a family, even if we have to fake it sometimes. Like we're married and we're gonna get through this for our kid. It just didn't. Once I snapped out of it, I couldn't snap. Once I woke up from the dream, I couldn't go back to sleep. It just was like it just didn't work out that way. So
but that's another thing because women always feel that they could fix somebody. You could fix this man. This man's a cheater. This man's um, a thief. This man's a liar, or he's, But a woman, he gonna be different for me. He gonna be different for me. They always say that, and I don't really understand it. And it ain't just for me; it's for everybody. Like I don't know what it is that a lot. It ain't. I don't know. Maybe it ain't all women. So maybe you was just going through some stuff, but there's a lot of women that be going through some stuff and they think that they could just change a man. And we
I
men,
don't I don't know if that's what I was going through. I think that like I said, when you're in a traumatic space, you don't. It takes a while for you to accept. Like it's even like you see women whose men have been putting their head between the washer and the dryer for 10 years and they still in the marriage getting their ass whooped. It's just like why would you stay in that? But it's like when you're in that situation, it's a little bit, it's not as cut and dry as like, oh, a person hits you one time and you leave. Like I wish it was that. I wish no woman or person on earth was in an abusive relationship for long periods of times. You have people that spend 20 years in those relationships, 50 that die in those relationships, getting their ass whooped all their life. So it's like you think that, like I said, think relationships aren't black and white. Unfortunately, you think you'll react a certain way and you don't. I personally, yeah, I know, I know a lot of people are passing judgment, but I got out of there in less than 3 months. I feel like I did great, but I know everybody has their judgment and what they did. Yeah, I got pregnant. Shit happens, but I'm fortunate that I'm this age. And I'm fortunate, or I'm glad that I'm at 37, and I'm glad that I'm stable in my life, that, my baby, in terms of like finances and having me to be support and having my family to be support, will be okay. And that's all I'm worried about at this point.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't know if this is too much of a touchy subject, but I'm gonna just mention it. You don't have to answer because for whatever reason.
You can ask.
But was after you found all this out and you're pregnant and there was abortion ever on the table? Like
I definitely considered it 100%. I definitely thought about it. But the reason I couldn't do it is I told you, in my life, I've had one abortion. I had an abortion in 2021, and it was very horrific for me in general, just because it's something that I always told myself that I would never do. Like, I know different people have different beliefs on different things. For me, it's just not something I believe in doing, or it's something that sits okay with me. It's just something small. And in this particular instance, I felt even more crazy because I'm 37 and married, and I planned to have a kid. And now you're gonna go to your grown, damn near 40 ass is gonna go to the clinic when you haven't had any kids yet to get an abortion of your husband's child that you planned because things didn't work out the way you wanted them to. I feel like for me, I felt like that would be selfish.
yeah. And there you are thinking about that man again, and he just ain't shit.
No, it's not. It's not thinking about him. I'm thinking about my kid, because there's a third life involved now. I know everybody doesn't look at, a fetus or an embryo as a person, but I do. And to me, I don't think it's fair to just end someone's life because I made a poor decision, especially at my big age. If I was 19 and I did this, I would have a different perspective, but I'm 37. So at some point you have to deal with the consequences or the effects of your actions. Like, I don't have kids. This is not going to break me. It's not like, I have 2 baby daddies already, so I'll be okay. I just have to, you just have to accept that you married a gay guy. Like, you married a gay guy, you got pregnant, life goes on. Like, deal with it.
Yeah, that's a story to tell. Because I was telling you when we was talking that I had just did another story where a woman actually, after she found messages, well, first the guy wanted to spice up their relationship, so he was trying to set them up to be swingers or do this thing with swinging. And since that didn't work, he ended up having a relationship with the guy where she found all the messages and everything. She still stayed with him for 15 years afterwards.
It happens. Like, as somebody that's been through it, like, if you would have asked me a year ago, would I be in this situation? I would be like, yeah, okay. Like, what? Finding out a dude's gay, I would never find out this. I would never, until you get in this situation. That's why, for anybody that said what they would do, I hope trauma never finds you, because you're gonna be in shock. And I'm not talking about trauma of finding your man cheating, or trauma of like, oh, like this dude don't like me the way he's. I'm talking about some real shit happens. Like, you gonna be in shock with how you react, because I promise you, shit don't go how you think. Your mind doesn't work how you think. When your clear mind works how you think, but your mind's not clear when you're going through trauma.
Mm-hmm. So when you finally woke up, said, I can't do this no more, left it out, kicked him out, well, tried to kick him out, and all the shit went down. And now you've been going to counseling, dealing with that situation, going to court, dealing with that situation. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm looking at the comments here. I wanted to address one. It's a comment from somebody named Bianca. I don't usually read the comments, but I'm gonna read this one. It says, interesting. Seems selfish to get pregnant by the DL man just so you don't be judged for being 37 at the clinic. We're in an interesting world that, for whatever reason, abortion has become like such a normal. Abortion is not birth control. It's not like a thing where, like, you just yeet someone's life like it's nothing. I'm not judging anybody for having an abortion because I've had one, and how you feel about abortion is how you feel about abortion. But for me, I'm 3 months, I'm already showing. Like, this is like like I'm not like, and I'm still qualified for an abortion right now. I'm only 12 weeks. To me, that's insane. Like, I'm just not doing it. If what you want to do is your business, I can't. Like for me, it's heart-wrenching, it's soul-breaking. Like, I did that one time. That took a piece out of me to do that the first time. Everybody's different, but for me, I just can't.
Yeah, speaking of comments, I asked you about this previously. The comments crazy on my video. I know they had to be crazy on your video.
Honestly, so I've had way like my comments have been 90% supportive. I've had like 10% of people saying little slick shit here and there, but especially for like single mothers who have been through certain situations, my DMs was really the craziest, because this is actually, I honestly, especially for the women talking shit, I hope your man straight while you talking shit. I hope you really know your man how you say, because from my DMs, I can't tell you how many women reached out and said, were telling me stories about how they found out their husband of 20 years was DL, or how they found out their child, the person that they're with right now, that they've been with for 7 years, that they have 2 kids with, is DL and they don't know how to leave, or how they was with somebody for 5 years and didn't find out the guy was DL until after they broke up. Like, I hope y'all know y'all men exactly how much y'all say y'all do. I'm honestly thinking about doing a podcast. I'm going to call it Bussy Gossip. I'm gonna call it Bussy Gossip because I've been having all of these DM conversations with like gay men who've dealt with DL guys, and like women who have dealt with DL guys. Like, the stories that came out in my DMs are insane. So I wish y'all luck out. Like, I've had guys tell me straight up that they think that 80% of men are DL. Like, gay guys tell me that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I've had trans women tell me that anytime that they reveal themselves, like 9 out of 10 times, they've never been denied after revealing themselves as being trans. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what's going on, but I hope your man is as straight as you think he is.
Yeah, I did a story yesterday or the day before yesterday. It turns out, I think the story fake. I'm pretty 90% sure. I think we talked about this, where the girl, she telling the whole story about she from St. Louis and her boyfriend's a cop. I know her boyfriend is sleeping with the cop or some story like that. Well,
Yeah.
the guy is whooping her ass. And that's how, when I first started watching the video, I'm like, damn, he whooping her and she in love with him. And then she find out he's sleeping with a cop that lives in the apartments across from hers or something like that. And I'm like,
oh, I know what story you're talking about. I saw that too. That story went viral 2 days. That story came out 2 days after my story went viral, and everybody was sending it to me.
Yeah, and it was just like, because it took me a minute to do that story, but I was like, man, she's more worried about this man being gay, but he been whooping her ass all this time, and it's just like, I guess there's being able to hide their sexuality by, I guess, beating women, sleeping with multiple women, doing all type of shit. But it's crazy how women will put up with certain shit, but the gay is I guess the gay is that's the breaking point for some women, but getting beat on was not. And that's what I got out of that story. It was like, she was going to accept me.
Everybody's trauma is different, and how everybody reacts to trauma is different. I believe, again, I've never been in a situation where a dude was full-fledged with my ass, but a dude did put his hands on me one time, and I had him like, I don't really play like, for me, even now pregnant, 140 pounds, usually I'm 5 feet, 130 pounds. I can't get whooped all around. I call men, well, I can't be getting used as a punching bag. So for me, I don't do that. But even in the situation, I'm going to be real with y'all. I'm not into gay men. It's not my thing. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought I was so in love with this guy. If I had seen those old videos or whatever, I think that I probably still would have probably forgave and got past. I'm gonna be real honest with you. If he would have said the drug thing, what killed me, the real deal breaker for me was that the nigga was trying to fuck men in my house. That was the deal breaker. It wasn't so much the gay. It wasn't so much that I used to have sex with men part. Obviously, I'm not into gay men, but we were married, and I was trying to rationalize and do anything. It was the while I'm at work and he has my car, I'm telling niggas you gonna come get them in my car. It was the masturbating to dudes on FaceTime, twerking, playing, fingering their, rear ends with my house, and I'm looking at my house in the background. It was shit like that. That was like, it was you on Grindr while you laying next to me, telling dudes that you want to put your face in their booty. Like shit like that was the deal breaker for me. It was the playing in my face being gay. That was really the determining factor.
Damn. Yeah, I forgot about that part where he was in your bed on Grindr, and then you like from the iPad, you saw that it was already downloaded and they had a little cloud up there, and you just hit the cloud and then it downloaded.
Yeah, it wasn't downloaded. And I kept asking him, like, do you have Grindr? You have Grindr? Because I'm a big part of the community. I have got a lot of gay friends. I have trans friends. Like, one of my gay friends was one of our witnesses in our wedding. Like, so like I'm part of the community. So I'm like, this nigga gotta have Grindr, So
did he ever say anything to that friend? Like, did he show like, because when you see in denial people, they'll be really rude to other gay people.
No, he wasn't at all. He wasn't at all. He wasn't. He acted normal, like, because that would have been another red flag for me. Like, why are you so offended by him just being gay? But he wasn't. And with the Grindr thing, he denied he had Grindr, but like I said, when he logged into his iPad, you have that iCloud password keychain thing. So once I put in the passcode, that Grindr password came in and let me right into his Grindr. So,
like last logged in yesterday morning. What? We was together.
No, it was literally like there were messages of him at 7 a.m. messaging somebody when I knew he was in bed with me. Like, you literally was laying next to me on Grindr. So yeah, like,
man, I had a person I worked with, and we was chopping it up, and he said something about an app, and he mentioned Grindr, and I was just like, ain't that a gay app? But I didn't say nothing. I just thought it in my head, but I didn't let him know that I knew, because I was like, I don't want him.
You don't even want to be affiliated.
I don't want to be affiliated with. But I was like, hey man, if that's what you do, it's what you do. But But hey, if that's what he liked, man, hey, I mean, we just work together.
So someone asked me if my gay friend picked up. No. So when I revealed this, because I asked my gay friend, because I told my gay friend that was at our wedding that knew him, I was like, did you pick up on anything? He was like, no. It was like, if I picked up on something, I would have told you. I'm shocked. Like, I would have never known that.
Yeah. Like, have you seen him at any of y'all clubs?
Exactly. Like, I don't know, for me, like, after hearing, because the thing is, like, me having friends in that community, I know, because what I realized too, because I made a video about this, a lot of the comments were unintentionally homophobic. Unintentionally. Like, it's homophobic to assume that just because someone has had a gay interaction that they have AIDS or HIV. That's not, that's homophobic, right? Because just like, so the gay community does have an elevated HIV rate, but the Black community also has a very elevated HIV. If you look at the statistics for HIV and AIDS, Black women are one of the highest statistics right after gay men. Like, it's the same. So I don't think that.
I can tell you why.
Why is that? And I can tell you what I researched. I can tell you what I researched. It's not what you're going to say, though. It's not what you're going to say. I've done the research on this. I could tell you why, but I'll hear what you guys say.
I was say these men are sleeping with the
Not why.
You know what I
That,
mean? Just
it,
giving it to the
that,
women.
that's not what the research shows. The research shows that Black women have a higher potential to engage in prostitution, have a higher potential to engage in drug use, have a higher potential to engage in engaging without protection. That's what the statistics show. It doesn't. I mean, DL is a small part, but the main thing is that Black women tend to engage in more risky behaviors. That's just what it is. And we joke about the community all the time, like about women selling pussy. Selling pussy includes risk. Like you don't sell pussy and somehow you avoid disease all the time. Like somebody gonna catch something.
That's why
Prostitution.
I don't get on Snapchat because it be prostitution, and it's actually a girl I be seeing in the city, and I be like, man, I seen her selling her coochie on Instagram and be fucking these dudes without no condom on. She just passing whatever around, and that's why I got off Snapchat because I'm like, it's just a prostitution thing. I don't even know why I'm on it. So
I mean, obviously, like DL men do play a fact, but we do have the highest DL men because the highest rate of DL men because I saw that in the comments, but we also are the only community that has normalized prostitution so much. Like it's like a normal thing to pay for. Like we know the price is we joke about the price being $40 and all this stuff. No other, even if it happens in other communities, we're the only one that has tried to normalize those type of interactions. Like selling pussy, we used to be a hush hush thing that you did in an emergency, that women did in an emergency if they couldn't feed their kids. Now women do it because they want crab legs. Like we're in a different time. So those things create more risk.
yeah, those it's a lot of people. That's why I was like, you know, I don't try to disrespect people and their choices, how they lifestyle on here. And that's why I said, I mean, we won't do the gay bashing or whatever, but I won't do that to women either. I mean, I make jokes, but I don't try to bash women because, it's just not, it's just not a good thing to just sit there and berate somebody over whatever their life choices is. So
Right.
it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't know anybody's circumstances. Like different circumstances make people do different things. Until I'm in your shoes, I can't tell you how you should handle your problems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's another thing is everybody has a solution, and that's what you were saying. I hope nobody has to go through this because everybody got a solution about your problems, and you be like, you don't need
So
to
they in it.
Yeah.
So they in it, and I can honestly say that most of the people talking shit, if you lived 50% of what I've experienced in my life, you probably wouldn't be here. So I don't really, it doesn't really bother me the opinions of people that probably couldn't handle half of what I've been through anyway. So it's all right. Like most people on here judging were raised with at least a mom. Like if you even had the start that I had, you wouldn't be here. So I'm not gonna take any offense to people that don't know better.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, do you think any of those past traumatizations like play effect in your decision making? I mean,
100%. I think that if I wasn't so familiar with drug use in the first place, right? If I wasn't so accustomed to seeing people using drugs from such a young age, that I wouldn't have had so much empathy. I probably would have been a lot more freaked out, like a person who's never interacted with that. You think of drug use as the worst, but for me, it was like more, not, I don't want to say a normalized behavior, but it's like I have a level of empathy that a normal person doesn't have, because when you see your mother ruining her life using drugs from the time that you're 2, you have a different perspective. When you see your mom in the street having a nervous breakdown because she can't get her, when you walking by from school and you see your mom in the streets having a nervous breakdown because she can't get her hands on drugs, you have a different perspective. When you're 16 and your mom tries to get you to sleep with a dealer just so she can get it fixed, you have a different perspective. Like these are things that, unfortunately, I'm in therapy for it now, but they definitely affect how you see things. So to me, when he was telling me these stories about drugs, he just happened, I don't know if he knows my story too, so he probably knew he was tapping into a soft spot. But like for me, it kind of made me, I felt a different level of empathy because I've experienced these things. And I know I know despite my mom doing those things, I know my mom loves her daughter. It's just that I know that drugs have, especially crack cocaine, has an effect on you that most people don't understand. We joke about it, but addiction is a disease. Like it's a disease that's extremely hard to beat. I was just proud that he was able to clean himself up because my mother spent 30 years on drugs or 25 plus years on drugs and could not clean herself up. She became a paranoid schizophrenic and she's never been normal to this day. So I mean now I've in the last year, me and my uncle have put her in a space where she's clean and she's together. Well, she's been clean for some years. She's just mentally ill now, but we put her in a space where she has a normal life and things like that. But if you never experience those things, obviously your experience is going to be different, or your viewpoint of things is going to be different than someone that has.
Mm. You seem to be knowledgeable about a lot of stuff, and you very educated. I could just by the way you talk and the way you articulate a lot of stuff. You're a very smart woman. So, but you made a very crazy dumb choice. But
Yeah, I mean,
it's it's your life though, and I mean, I don't think you in a bad position. You ain't in no worse position than anybody else who would in life just on a regular basis. So it's just like you just had a situation and it is what it is.
right.
But so I mean you live and you learn and you know, just keep praying, pray over that child, pray over her father, you know, just you know, I don't know what your religion is, but keep God first. Cause
I think my child will be way better off than I was, and I think that I before this, even now, I still have a great life. Like I'm gonna say honestly, my life is probably better than most people. So I'm not going to pretend like a rough start determines your entire life. It doesn't. Um, I'm very, very blessed. I have great friends. I have a great family. I have a great support system. You know, and actually, like my best friend, I wasn't gonna tell the story. My best friend, she's a reality TV star, and I
is that
posted
not
a
Suki?
yeah. Suki's my best friend. She's actually
For
the baby.
real?
Yeah, she's
I,
actually the baby. She's the baby's godmom. And I wasn't going to tell this story. And she was just like, you know, girl, like people hate me and people that don't know me hate me, but I'm honest and I tell my story or whatever else. And this is part of your story. And, you know, you embrace your life, embrace the choices that you make. It's your story and it is what it is. So she's actually part of the reason, because I was honestly embarrassed at first, but she's part of the reason that I feel comfortable. And it's not really too many things anybody can say to me because like I said, until you escape a crackhead mama and a bullshit father and end up owning a business and making six figures and traveling the world with your best friend who's a celebrity and doing all those things and making it to 37, not worried about how to feed your until you're able to make it through that, then whoever can come talk to me that's done that, you can come talk to me. Anybody else, I don't want to hear it. Because you couldn't walk a mile in my shoes anyway.
man, Sukiana scared the hell out of me because boy, she do some ratchet shit, and I'd be like, Lord have mercy. I don't know what's going.
So
It was
so
a
the thing about Suki is that's the thing about the internet. The internet's not a real place. I think a lot of people think they knew people from the internet. Suki Hana is a smart businesswoman. Suki Hana understands that unfortunately in the black community we love negative shit. That's just what it is. If we didn't, she wouldn't be famous, right? So Suki Hana didn't start off that way. Suki Hana actually started off as an Erica Badu type, selling waist beads and preaching about black history and things like that. And she wasn't getting the attention, unfortunately, and she wanted to do music. So she started twerking and doing ratchet shit. And what did black people do? Fed into it. Suki, for those of us that know Suki, really, Suki's actually a very soft-spoken, very timid, shy person. She turns that on for the camera. She would be mad if I said this, if she knew I was saying this. But because she doesn't like that to be out there, but she turns that on for the camera. So as much as people are talking shit about her, if your community didn't feed into negative bullshit so much, there wouldn't be a Sukihana. But y'all like that shit. When she was selling waist beads and breastfeeding her daughter and teaching people about how to, get in touch with the earth and talking about crystals and shit like that, no one gave a damn. It wasn't until, like I said, she was twerking on grave sites that all of a sudden everybody paid attention. So people do what they got to do to feed her kids, and I don't judge my friend at all. Me and Suki are very different, but I don't judge my friend at all because at the end of the day, that woman has made a life where she could feed her 3 kids, and I'm not judging how nobody feed their kids.
busy. Yeah. So there was a Okay, baby. I hear you. Close my door. Yeah, you can. All right. She's back. Okay, that's one of my children. Um. Uh. Yeah, Suki said something about a black and mild and a perk, and I was just like, oh Lord. But maybe it's just rap. You know, it's entertainment. People can, you know. So like, I could tell you, like when I was,
Let
I
me tell you
spent the
something. If there's one person on earth that don't give a fuck what y'all think about her, like,
it's her.
if there's one person that don't, y'all can say whatever y'all want to say about that girl. If there's one person in the world that don't give a fuck and all she do is sit at home taking care of her kids and feeding her kids and minding her business and making sure her kids go to school and are well clothed and well taken care of, she don't give a fuck about nothing none of y'all say. So it don't matter.
Mhm. Yeah, I know that our community will feed into bullshit because one time I was like, I got a food truck and I was just like, man, I'm finna record all my content and I'm finna, you know, let everybody see what I do and I recorded all summer long everything from buying my food truck and all this stuff and cooking and everything. I did all this editing and I started putting it out and wasn't nobody watching it. I was like, man, ain't this some bullshit? So then I was just like, my friend was like, man, don't nobody want to see that turkey leg shit. You funny. Do that funny shit. I was like, man, I was like, I was mad because I was like, man, I'm only getting like 10 views and 5 of them was me. And I'm just like, all right. So I did a video I started doing videos called How to Rob because 50 Cent he
Right.
did these video song called How to Rob, you know, and I started doing How to Rob YouTubers, and I did one over Cashapp, and I barely knew who Cashapp was.
Mm-hmm.
This was like 2 or 3 years ago, and that video he reacted to it. That was my
Oh,
biggest video
let
at
me
the
just
time.
say something. Let me just say something because I'm listening to you. But your comments are funny. Let me just say something like this because y'all talking shit about my friend, and I do get very sensitive when people talk shit about my friends because that's my friend. So, I'm gonna just say this, and I'm gonna let you finish. I'm sorry, PJ,
Mhm.
but I made it to 37 years old, and I got married, and I'm having a child with my husband. My husband's not shit, but I'm having child with my husband. If it's any baby mamas on here talking shit about how I shouldn't bring my kid in the world and you brought your kid in the world, I don't want to hear it. Like I don't want to hear it. I don't feel like your child is more worthy of being here than mine because my child's father is a different ain't shit than your child's father. Like if your child's father was great, you'd be with him. And most of the black community is not married, so please miss me with the bullshit. Go ahead, PJ.
Hey, this is your world. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I mean, hey, you right. You know, and they got to take it. They can put it in the comment section. They can.
No,
They,
I don't
I mean,
mind.
I'm saying they
We
can.
can't,
They
we can't be in glass houses throwing stones now. Like, I
right,
know most of the black community is not married, and
right.
most of the black community has kids out of wedlock. Please stop acting like because my husband is a different ain't shit than your baby father. Like, you're a better type of single mother than I'm about to be. Like, miss me with the
Mm.
bullshit. Like, give me a break.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Because I know I ain't shit. I mean, I always been a good father. I was a terrible boyfriend. So, but yeah, when I was saying how our black community like a bunch of drama, and I'm be honest, like I've tried to go back to stuff. I tried to show people how to do taxes. I tried all
Mhm.
this positive stuff, but nobody watched. But then I started roasting this girl named Roro, and you know everybody watched it because it was just negative, and then nobody cared. And I honestly didn't give a fuck. Like after I turned off my camera, I didn't care about her. So
Yeah.
it was just for content, just to get views. It was just for the bag. But I was having fun doing it. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong, I
and now
really
you've
enjoyed
made it
it.
here where you could talk about whatever the fuck you want to talk about. But
Mhm.
it's just like unfortunately, and I love being black. I wouldn't change it, but our community we love negative shit. Even like in in the comments, right? My most of my support in my comments was black women. Most of my support, but the worst comments was black single mothers. They're the worst. That 10% of horrible comments was like Black single mothers trying to make themselves feel better about their situation, so they want to shit on somebody else. It was like, all right, I get it. Like, you want it, like, you did this, now you feel like, oh, this person's doing. Even though I'm not, because half of y'all trying to figure out like whether you want to pay the light bill or feed your kids, but like, you feel like you found somebody that's doing worse than you, so now you have somebody shit on. And I understand that. Like, I understand people need things to make them feel better about where they are in their lives. So
Yeah, people project. You know, they see something, and a lot of us be going through shit. A lot of people be going through shit, and they will, like, I'm be honest. When my father was dying, I got on YouTube and was roasting the hell out of people because it made me feel good.
yeah, it happens when you're in pain. And that's why I don't. That's why I don't mind when you're in pain. Like, you project that onto other people. You want to see someone else in pain too. It's like, it's the whole misery loves company thing, and I get that. So I don't take it personally. I'll set the record straight. Like, if I see you going a little too hard, and plus my block button has gotten nasty since this. Like, I'll set the record straight. But like, I get it. I do understand that miserable people need other people to feel miserable to make themselves feel better. It doesn't. I understand. At the end of the day, when we end this interview today, I go back to living my life. My friends are in the living room. We did a movie night tonight. We're catching up on our Young, Famous, and African, and one of my friends cooked for me, and we're living. This is just entertainment.
Yeah. Well, what y'all watching? You said, what's that movie y'all watching?
We're watching Young, Black, and Famous. It's a reality show. So like,
Okay.
we're like binge watching that, and I know they like 5 episodes ahead of me because I've been on here with you.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna let you get to them. I ain't gonna hold you in too long. Yeah, but thank you again, man. Let me share your social medias. I already got it pulled up. Y'all can check out. This is, which one is this? This is Instagram. I think this is Instagram. This is her Instagram. Uh, Jennifer B. Charles, where y'all can see she had another interview with Birds and Bottles. Um, and that famous red road.
And that was not intentional. That was not intentional. I
The
just feel
red
like
road.
it was not intentional. But like, all my TikTok followers were like, "We don't know it's you when we don't see the red robe. That's your staple now." So now I always make sure I have it on. But I'm at my homegirl's house. That's why I didn't wear it today.
Boy, you and Suki. Yeah,
Yeah,
that baby taking them abs, girl.
I
That
know.
you about to have a mom bod now.
I'm a gym. First of all, don't give all of that. Don't give all of that, okay? But I'm usually in the gym 6 days a week, so like, that was the first thing to fucking go. First thing to go was like, my abs was like disappeared.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I seen that on. Let me see, cause I could. Did you have more workout stuff on your on your TikTok? Where'd you have the workout stuff at? On
Uh,
Instagram?
I used to have it on my Instagram, but I just honestly, like, COVID. I have to change that. COVID like really changed a lot of things for me. I wasn't posting workout content as much.
Okay, yeah,
I
I seen
started post.
some.
I started posting more acting content. Like, I used to do. I used to be a fitness model and stuff like that. So I used to do like fitness videos for different companies and stuff like that.
Okay, you are very photogenic. You take some
Thank
wonderful
you.
photos. The locks is
Thanks.
popping.
Thank you. I'm about to have my 9-year anniversary in February.
For growing your locks.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. I'm about to go to Turkey and get my hairline back. So I'm gonna be wearing this hat until I can't. I ain't even
You
thinking
said you
about
about to
locks.
go to Turkey, get your hairline back. They doing
Yeah,
hairline
yeah,
surgery in Turkey?
yeah. That is. Hell, if women get surgery, I don't want to hear them say nothing about me getting my hairline back.
Look, do
Shoot.
whatever you need, whatever you do to make yourself happy. Look, I'm not judging nobody. The only thing I don't like, I'm not really into the man units. Like, if you go and do the surgery, then just do the surgery, but don't do like a weave. Don't get a
Don't
weave.
do why not? What's wrong with you know what I'm saying?
Because it's like, that's so weird. Like, and especially me being a natural girly, like, I don't want you having to take off your weave. Like, me personally, I'm just not into like wigs and shit. Like, and I just think, I don't know. I don't want
Nah,
your wig slipping off like we go to a water park or something like that.
I wouldn't do that. This is the TikTok. Y'all can find her on TikTok. I think it's official Zen Jen on TikTok. And that was her last TikTok when they took it away and they brought it back. I ain't gonna.
Yeah, I'm still on TikTok though.
Yeah.
I'm so happy they brought TikTok back. I love TikTok.
This the ab video where you said baby took your abs.
Oh yeah, like I
Yeah.
was showing my body before and like how that was the first, like literally it was like 2 months in and it was like gone. I just it started popping out. But I think the reason that I'm showing so much is because I typically have a very small waist because of my workout physique, so that the belly's coming through. Usually my
Yeah.
stomach's like flat, washboard type situation.
Well, yeah, y'all go follow her, man, and support her, and and everything, and give us some love and support, and let her know that we here for her, and we enjoyed her story time. It was very entertaining, and
Thank you for having me, PJ.
yeah, thank you for
This was this
joining
is
me.
this is a very interesting. This was a very interesting talk. You definitely have a different audience than what I'm used to, but it's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, the everyday people, we ratchet and we wholesome at the
I
same time.
see. I
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, well, thank you again. Thank you, everyone, for joining the live, man. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and continue to watch the channel, man. I will holler at y'all later. Peace.
All right.
Yeah, so